Sorry. Hello from Ukraine, Igor. So I think I should repeat what I said. Do you hear me? Okay, sorry for this technical issue. Okay, so Grandma Stories is an e-twinning collaborative story writing project. It deals with cultural heritage through stories that are being recorded, students telling their grandma stories or recording their grandma stories in their native language and translating them into English, and then writing stories. And we will see what is the idea of the project. 8 schools, 8 countries have been involved through this project. 8 countries have been involved, 11 teachers from 11 schools. So Tunisia is the founder, the co-founder is Ukraine. As you can see, the partner countries are Armenia, Poland, Turkey, Portugal, Azerbaijan, and Italy. So 3 schools from Tunisia, 2 schools from Armenia, 1 school from Azerbaijan, from Italy, 1 school from Poland, 1 school, Portugal and Turkey, 1 school. I'm the founder. My partner or my co-founder is Victoria Harvest from Ukraine. We started the project, or the project was run over 9 months. It started at the beginning of September and ended towards the beginning of June. So what is the project idea? Most of us cherish the stories and the tales we were told when we were kids. Our parents, teachers, told us the stories to entertain us, but also to transmit values and teach us morals through the characters' fortunes or misfortunes. Our project consists in the students co-writing stories for their future grandchildren in which they will solve real-world problems. The stories' themes are inspired from the Sustainable Development Goals, the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and for that the students have to start from recording their grandparents or parents telling tales in their native language, and at the end they will imagine stories that they will co-write in international teams in which they will solve real-world problems being inspired from the Sustainable Development Goals. So the aims of the project are to develop the students' language skills, to develop the students' 21st century skills, to create a cultural exchange between the different partners in the project. The objectives. So by the end of the project, the students should be able to practice writing as a process, design a book cover, sketch a scene from the story, evaluate others' writings and their own writings, the students' own writing, according to a set of criteria. Also, the students will have to apply their knowledge, the elements of the story, the language, the grammar, and punctuation rules, coordination and using linkers, etc., to create their stories. The students collaborate with peers to achieve that. They also use ICT to accomplish a task, use ICT to collaborate with peers online. Methodology. The project is based or integrates several approaches. So the main method or main approach used is the project-based approach. Also, there is socio-constructivism. There we have applied socio-constructivism, ICT integration, problem solving, and cognitivism. Our project is interdisciplinary. It doesn't only involve English. Art is also involved through students' illustrations and designing the book covers. It also involves geography when students create or make a search about the partner countries and prepare presentations. They look for the location of the countries that are in the project, their religion, their currencies, the places of interest in those countries, population, etc. We have also integrated some skills or knowledge from the subject students studied, like multimedia, for example. Students will record podcasts and share them on SoundCloud. They will also create videos with subtitles. They will create blogs and share their use the blogs as any portfolio in which they share their reflections about their work experience in the project, the things they have accomplished, the tasks they have accomplished, reflecting on those tasks. They also civic education is involved through the human rights because the students make a research. They apply the knowledge they have seen in civic education concerning human rights, gender equality, things like this related to civic education, in which they apply them also to English. Biology is also included in the disciplines that our project touches, like, for example, environment. Students, because the Sustainable Development Goals deals with topics such as water scarcity, for example, pollution, famine, or climate change. These are also issues that are in biology. The project relation to the curriculum. Well, the project is not only the project is related to the English subject because I'm an English teacher. So the students do the project part of their lessons and part of their curriculum also. They have a grade at the end of each semester, and all the work they are doing is part of they are going to be graded on that. So also, not only that, the students also, the relationship of the project to the curriculum is in those topic areas that you see on the screen. I made a screenshot from the Tunisian English official program that deals with that my students are at the level of my students' age, first year students, 15, 16 years old. So the topic areas they deal with are family and life relationships when the students introduce themselves, and science and technology, because my students have also participated in the Safer Internet Day. They create content and share that content on the net, so they know how to preserve their digital identity and how to keep safe on the internet. Things related to that theme. Also, social problems in the students deal with poverty, famine, child labor, for example, unemployment, etc., in the stories they will write. Communicate with others. This is at the heart of every eTwinning project. The students will have to communicate with other students from different countries, from the different countries that are in the project. Social life through, for example, traveling. They imagine characters who are traveling. For example, in their stories, they imagine those characters that are traveling. They do the presentation and travel virtually to those countries. Education. Also, this theme or topic is covered in the Sustainable Development Goal number 4, quality education. And professional life, attitudes and values is also covered in our project through voluntary work. I will develop that idea later when I show you some results or outcomes of the project. Civism also showing their interest and empathy for other people and showing appropriate behavior through the internet when chatting with their friends on Facebook, because we have one means of communication between the students and the teachers is Facebook, so showing appropriate behavior in communicating with other students and other partners in the project. Human rights and duties, this is also, as mentioned earlier, is covered in the project. Ecology, also media and art is also covered. Hello everyone. Hello for those who have joined us. So this is the project process, if you want. So our project. Okay, someone wants to speak. I think Najwa. Okay, Najwa. Najwa, could you raise your hand, please? In the here you are. I enabled your mic and your video, Najwa. Najwa is my partner from Tunisia. Okay. Hello, Christina. Hello, welcome for those who have. Hello, Najwa. Hi. Good. So I was saying that that the project working process was divided into 5 main phases. Phase 1 is getting to know each other. Translated national tales, preserving our cultural heritage, working on the global goal, phase 3, and phase 4, international collaborative activity, and phase 5 is the evaluation. Yes, Firas, you will see those steps clearly in a timeline, okay? So I just had to mention that, and then I'm going to show you right now the mind map. I will share my screen with you in a moment. Okay, do you see the timeline? Is the timeline visible to you? Okay, I hope you see it. Okay, clear. Right, so this is the first phase. Started in September by introductions and brainstorming, and it extended until October by finding partners in partner forums and social media, brainstorming with partner teachers about the project activities, tool sets, etc. Students brainstormed about the project idea, objectives, and expected outcomes by their teachers. The next activity in the first phase, phase 1, ice-breaking activities. It's an online ice-breaking activities in the Twin Space forums. The ice-breaking activity is two truths and a lie, in which students share two truths and a lie about themselves. Students respond, other students respond, or all the students respond to 6 other participants from a different school than theirs, including at least 2 responses to students from partner countries by determining the lie. There has been a lot of interaction here. And in phase 2, students collect or record grandma stories told in the native language of the students. For example, Ukrainian students record their grandma telling stories in Ukrainian, Tunisian students in the Tunisian dialect, Italians in Italian, etc. They then upload that video into SoundCloud, or that recording, that podcast into SoundCloud, and another student takes on the task to translate that story, and they create a Google Docs and invite their teacher and their teammates into that Google Docs, and they translate the story. The teacher supervises the translation, and other students also help by correcting. The teams are composed of 3 students, and the final step of this activity is creating a video with English subtitles. And I'll show you here another video, an extract, a compilation of stories. This is a Polish story.
Un contadino andava a tagliare il prato tutti i giorni e a mezzogiorno le sue 3 figlie si portavano da mangiare. Un giorno andò alla prima e quando fu nel bosco, stanca si sedette su una pietra a riposare.
This is a Tunisian story. Okay. Okay, so this is the second phase of the project. The second phase of the project, I mean the previous one here, this phase ends with a meeting or a virtual conference, a video conference with an expert, and actually my students had the chance to meet with Shelly Sanchez-Terrell from Texas in the United States.
A fairy tales.
So I'm sharing with you some of the
that you get to create
the meeting.
these pictures and to see them. So
I don't know
very
if okay, I'm back.
children.
So this is the recording of the whole video conference, which went on Google Hangout. It enables us to share a link, and people, our partners, could follow live synchronously as the live event went. So we had partners from Ukraine. We had partners also watching from Italy, I think. They watched it. They watched the live event or the Google Hangout live.
So these fairy tales were created and then they were preserved and passed down by telling them and sharing them, and then the children would memorize them in this fairy tales. Is that correct? And will you be doing this in partners or by yourself or as a class? Okay, good. So I think that that's a great way to do it. So that way you have many different types of fairy tales that you get to create. And I'm going to show you some parts of a fairy tale so you understand, what the different.
Do you see? Do you see it again? Yes. Okay. Sorry. So I think I'll.
To be surrounded by different kinds of tales that you get to create. And I'm going to show you some parts of a fairy tale so you understand, what the different, what they are supposed to have in them. You don't have to have all of these elements, but it's good to have a good portion of them. So before we do those, fairy tales, I want to show you the great. So somebody else. I think in the Disney one, he turns into a human and gets the prince and lives happily ever after.
Okay.
But in the Japanese version, she actually turns into and she doesn't live happily.
Okay. Now we will be back to our timeline. So in phase 3, as I mentioned, that phase 2 ends with an expert telling or brainstorming or showing students how to write stories, what are the main elements of the story, what are the all in all how they could write a story. Students asked him asked her a question. I had also another event with another French writer, Michelle Madar. She is French and she wrote her own grandma stories and published them into books. Phase 3 is about working on the global goals. Students watch video about the SDGs, do some class activities about the SDGs. They express their opinions about the goals, about the goal they think is the most important, justifying their choice with arguments. and they answer a survey. This one is optional at the end of the phase. They answer a survey. The international collaborative activity is our fourth phase. Here, students are work in teams in international teams. The students are grouped according to the choice of the goal in the previous activity, and they also work or this phase of the project deals with writing as a process. And a book. Is the sound clear now? Okay. I don't know where I lost when I lost connection. So can you just tell me which part was? So I was talking lately about evaluation. Did you hear that? Yes, I will share with you. I will give you the links of who asked the question. Actually, it is Nana. Okay. Yes, I will absolutely share with you everything. I will give you the link to the twin space. It is public. You can visit it. Everything is there. Okay. We will have a visit also to our twin space. Okay. Phase 4. Phase 4. That was yeah. That was the international collaborative activity, and I was saying that the students were grouped in according to the goal they chose in the previous activity. So, for example, there were 17 goals in the Sustainable Development Goals. All the students who have chosen, for example, goal for quality education will be put together into one group. And they were told that before doing the Sustainable Development Goal activity. Okay, and this is an international collaborative activity. So students from different countries, from different schools will have to collaborate together. And for writing the story, or the objective of this activity is writing as a process. Students develop an awareness of or their skills of writing process, so that they should brainstorm a story. Also, they write the first draft of the story. They peer edit or peer review the draft. Teachers give feedback and follow the work progress, and give feedback or also approve the draft. Once the draft is approved, the students will share that draft in any book. Okay, so I will share also with you. This is actually really interesting. The result was interesting at the end. So for the evaluation, the students evaluate their work process and reflect. So is it okay? I'm checking if you hear me. Okay, Nana. Um, so do you hear me first? It sounds that you hear me. Okay. So for the evaluation, the students evaluate their work process and reflect on their experience through blogs and e-portfolios. They do at the end of the project group presentations in which they reflect about their work experience. They share their impressions, the difficulties they went through, how they solved them, etc. The students also answer an evaluation survey at the end of the project. My students answered an evaluation survey. And teachers also reflect on their work experience in the project on Common Padlet, in which also students also share their experience on that. So now I will share with you, we will go into a visit to our twin space. So here is our twin space. I will share the link of the twin space with you. You could navigate. All the pages are public. Okay, so our homepage, as you can see, the project overview. So we have the project plan, etc., school addresses, ICT collaborative activity, project timeline, structure of the school year. Okay, so phase one of the project, which is the getting to know each other. Students and teachers present themselves, introduce their schools, do the ice-breaking activity in the forum. Phase two, that is being translated national tales, preserving our cultural heritage of stories told by our grandmas and or parents also. So here you have the different tales of the different nationalities. And here is evidence of students doing the work. So in the Google documents. Here my students in class.
Okay, Akram, what are you doing? Okay, you recorded it? Good, okay.
Okay. So here are our partners also watching the live event, the experts event during this phase, doing some class activity related to storytelling and how to write a story, the features of or elements of a story, characters, climax, plot, etc. The second phase, third phase, sorry, doing some work about the sustainable development goals, doing research, etc. And at the end, students share their reflections on Flipgrid. And Flipgrid has recently become private, so you need a password to see the students' reflections. Okay. So students reflect on the sustainable development goals. So I will show you a recording.
I think that the most important goal is number 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. It's about promoting peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development, providing access to justice for all, and building effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. Actually, people everywhere need to be free from fear and all forms of violence and feel safe. In fact, 3,000 children are still working as militants in conflicting areas all around the world. Imagine waking up to the sound of bombs instead of your mom's sweet voice calling you for breakfast, or the view of blood and dead people instead of your happy family. Imagine not waking up at all because you couldn't sleep for 3 days. You're anxious, worried, and terrified because you might be dead in every moment. What a future are we building for this generation? What world are we planning to live in? A world where people are killing each other. A world where the disabled people, the poor, the weak can't have their rights. A world where only the strong and the rich can live. A world with humans but not humanity. It's time to move. It's time to work for a better place. In order to advance the SDGs, we need effective and inclusive public institutions that can deliver quality education and healthcare, fair economic policies, and inclusive environmental protection. What can we do? You can raise awareness in your community about the realities of violence and the importance of peaceful and just societies. Identify how you can pursue the SDGs in your life. Besides, you can exercise your right to freedom of expression and share your opinion with your elected representatives. Be the change. Promote inclusion and respect towards people of different backgrounds, religions, genders, sexual orientations, or different opinions. Together, we can help to improve conditions for a life of dignity for all.
Okay, that was one of the recordings or the reflections of students about the SDGs that they have chosen or they chose. And this student, Shaima, has chosen or chose SDG 16. That means that in the next activity, she will join a group of students who have chosen the same goal. Now, how we group our students, how I group the students. This is how actually our students are grouped together in working in that phase. So I will show you the international, how we organized the international collaborative activity. So week one, brainstorming using Kaggle. Kaggle is a collaborative mind mapping tool. And in week two, students write a first draft on Google Docs, links shared for each group, and these other students in the same group start to draw some scenes of the story. Revising and editing with the help of a group supervising teacher. Each group has a supervising teacher or two supervising teachers. Some students try to draw the scenes of the stories, and also they share the stories at the end. They share the stories on Story Jumper or Storyboard, Storybird, sorry, presenting and disseminating the work done. Okay, so the collaborative brainstorming activities. This is how the students are grouped. So in a table, we know who is the student. We have two students here from Italy, from Azerbaijan. The supervising teacher is Ms. Najwa from Tunisia, and the link to the mind map. And here is the mind map integrated in the twin space. So we can see the mind map here. And teachers leaving feedback. Ms. Najwa. Okay, so here is the feedback of Ms. Najwa. Team 2, as you can see, zero hunger. The link to the mind map in the twin space. The mind map integrated in the twin space with an embed code. So the teacher, supervising teacher is me. And also here, Mrs. Najwa Dahmani, she leaves her feedback to the group of students. etc. So we have 12 teams, so we will be having 12 stories at the end. Collaborative writing activity. So here is the link to the table with the different students in the group and the different Google documents of the stories. I will show you later how it is done. So evidence of students' work. So here are some pictures, some gifts showing the students from the different nationalities, how they collaborated. And here are the final products and how they are grouped. So I don't know if you are following me, please leave some comments in the chat. Okay, so I think it's, oh, okay. So you see it, because I didn't see any interaction, so I would like to make sure that you are following. So, here is a presentation about the different final products of our project. They are stories with collaborative mind maps and drafts in Google Docs, book covers, illustrations, and ebooks. So I will show you an ebook. It is made on Story Jumper, the student's choice. The first story is related to the first goal in the Sustainable Development Goal, that is no poverty. There is still time for change. So contributors are from Italy, Azerbaijan, Tunisia, and that's it. So illustrators are in Ilyas Alouche and Ansehni. Supervisors are Miss Najwa and me. So the stories, the illustrations here are from Pixabay. They are offered with Story Jumper. So they are Creative Commons stories, so could be shared on the internet. Just for this ebook, the book cover was designed using Canvas, and the students designed that cover. So at the end, well, that's how the Elysian Squad got to be known. Things won't stop here, because you will continue what we started. Even by doing the slightest act, it is still change. Don't forget, change. Elysian Squad is actually one of the impacts our project had on students. They created a sort of club or a squad that aims to help people within their community, and they integrated this club into their stories also. And I will show you later in the presentation what they wrote about it. So I go back to the final product. Okay, so here is how we show evidence of our students' collaboration. So teachers also leave feedback. It is mentioned that teachers leave feedback, follow the progress with links to the mind maps and links to the Google documents with the illustrations here. So here is the second ebook. Zero Hunger. This one was also designed using Canva or Canva. The title of the ebook is The Magic Pills, related also to Zero Hunger. To sum it up, it's about inventing an invention, actually pills that could be daily portions of food, replace daily food for some poor countries and poor people. So here, this illustration was made by students from, I think, from Ukraine, Kavo Gymnasium. Here also, so we have mentioned here, co-written by and illustrated by and supervised by the teachers. Okay, and our Armenian teachers and Armenian students here, evidence of international collaboration, brainstorming, collaboration with 3 schools, Tunisia and Armenia. Here, Tunisia and Italy also, and Portugal. Ms. Maria has also contributed to following the work progress and helping students edit their drafts and correcting their mistakes. And the book was created by the class of from Portugal. Gender equality, again, is a collaborative story. It's related to gender equality, and the title is The Fight That Seems to Never End. So later on, you will find all those links in the twin space. And at the end, clean and affordable energy, climate action, a book, Plan A for Earth. An illustration by Ukrainian students. I have to read. So it's interesting to read those stories. Other students who did not participate in this project asked me to give them links of the stories so that they can read the stories and see the work of their classmates. So here is another illustration by Ukrainian students. Okay, I'll be back to the twin space. Okay, and the evaluation. So here is our Padlet of evaluation, in which students put their reflections and shared feedback about their work in the project. Teachers also have shared their feedback. Also, students' presentations that were recorded. So here, which one? Dora and Khalil. So I'll show you an extract.
Wow.
Okay, and here we come to the communication between partners. So, like all the projects, we have used Twin Space and Twin Mail Teacher Bulletin project journal. We planned our meetings. We had live events, and we also created forums for students to interact. We had also meetings with each other. Students met each other. We celebrated the World Read Aloud Day in February 6th, and our first, I don't remember exactly. And students read stories to each other online. So I'll show you an extract. So one of the students in Portugal sang a song to us, so you can watch them later on. And here is our Facebook group. So we created two Facebook groups actually, one for teachers and another one for students. If you click on the images, you'll be sent there. Okay, I'll stop sharing my screen and go back to the presentation. Great, Christina. Yeah, sure. Okay, so one of the impacts of the project was a direct impact on the students, and they started. Actually, we developed their leadership skills and empathy for others. The students created the Elysian Squad, as you heard one of my students saying that, to help other people. So this student is a talented writer, and he chose a motto for the club. So I read the motto for you: future is rather uncertain, but today is surely not. Hand in hand, all together, the hardest problems will unknot. So his name is Khalil Zrair, and he is quite a brilliant student. The impact on me was getting out of my comfort zone, as I'm a shy person, and it's not that not collaborating with teachers. I'm collaborating with teachers in my own school, but I've been reluctant to open my classroom to other teachers from other schools online, because I was a little bit shy, and also I was worried about the reaction of my students towards other students. So this project helped me really get over that shyness and get out of my comfort zone. So the impact on my students also, it was a different style of learning for them, a different method of learning. That the one project-based learning, through the whole year working on the same project. Also, they liked this new way. They liked doing work online. They liked getting in touch with other students, and they doubted about that at the beginning of the project, at the beginning of the year, especially that some of the students had a previous experience in joining an e-twinning project, which they didn't finish the work, in which they didn't finish the work. The impact of the project on me and on my school and colleagues they wanted to join eTwinning to innovate their learning methods and share sharing what I was doing on social media, encouraged them and showed them that they can do something different to innovate. So this is it. So thank you for your presence and for being here. And I'm glad to share with you our work. It makes our work valuable, being shared with other people and not kept just for us. So do you have any questions? Thank you, Michaela. And will Christina, yes. So maybe I'll share with you my social media profile. We can also get in touch for future collaboration probably, if you want. Starting to think about our project for next year. So this is my my Twitter handle, and this is my email also. I'll stop recording.